Okay, good evening, folks. This is I'll almost say a repeat of an integration video for the Tempest combat framework and the advanced locomotion system. I did have a video uploaded already doing this, but the audio of that was absolutely awful with the software systems and crashes. So that one will be I'll be taking that one down in a couple of days, just in case I forget anything while doing this one again. So I'll leave the other one up just to rewatch just in case. But then after a couple of days, I'll take it away, and we'll just keep this one for the actual integration tutorial. Hopefully, I can make this one a wee bit quicker as well than the last one. We will start pretty much almost like the original one was. I've already made the virtual bones onto my character skeleton. Just once again, as I said last time, this is done on a character, my own personal character. You know, I set here and such, and I'll use the. It's basically the UE4 skeleton, but with a few additional bones and morph targets and such, because it came from the character creator 4 software, which I like to use that there for morph targets and facial stuff. So I wanted to keep that skeleton and all the morph targets for the retargeting system. Obviously, if you wanted to do this would also work if you just if your character supports like the UE4 skeleton, you can import it. Just give it the ALS4 skeleton and bypass all the retargeting stuff. The animations and things if you just import your character with the skeleton, and any of the other issues you might have that you'll probably see getting fixed in this video. But like I said, I've copied all the virtual bones here just on to get started already. So we close that down, and then once again in your ALS you'll need the IK rig. Any of the general IK rigs for the UE4 skeleton will do. You just duplicate one of them, bring it over here, and then just in the details panel you just change the character mesh to the anim, click the reset button, and it'll give you it'll set the whole IK rig thing here for the ALS, since once again it also uses the UE4 mannequin just with the additional virtual bones. So once you've got that made, then we will just again you'll click on your retargeter. As you can see, we've got the anim here. Of course, your own character will also need to have his own IK rig. I've already had one of mine made up for quite a while. Over here, as you can see, UE4 skeletons basically are. Bring up the bones here. You'll see their whole layout is more or less identical. Anyway, if you're using the one with the UE4 skeleton and the virtual bones, so shouldn't be too hard. But if we click on one of the animations, you will see, of course, there's always the little issues with the fingers, shoulders, and things. So before we do the retargeting, we'll fix all them. In the root, click on that, change that to globally scaled. Spine is fine, head is fine. That one there is, I'll leave that for myself. I made that one for myself because, like I said, mine comes from CC4, which had some additional facial bones, and that kind of helps know when what the character's doing its aim offset and his head turning, it stops the jaw and the eyes, kind of look it off in their own separate direction from the actual head. So you won't have that one, but so you can, that won't be an issue, but I'll just keep that one there. Left shoulder is fine. Arm, pinky, here we go. Left ring. That's the left arm thing. Now changes to the right shoulder. Right arm. Right ring. Right middle. Thumb. Index. Pinky. There we go, That's the hands. Change the twists. Lower. Upper. Left leg. Left thigh. Right foot IK. Left foot IK. Left hand IK. And once again, then we just click all of these IK ones. You see you've got a couple here floating around. Just change all of these to absolute. As you can see, then they kind of just lock into the proper places. There we go. And that's the basis of the retargeting is basically done with the core of that, thanks to the whole new method of UE4. So we click on this retarget and duplicate. You click the ALS retargeter, and as you can see, it's got your anim and your character that we just all set up there. And I'll put it into a specific folder just to avoid any issues. New folder here. Retarget. Must be a little slight delay, so it's got quite a few animations to swap over here. There we go. And what we'll do first is we'll open up the anim blueprint. Okay. Do not crash. Do not crash. Thank God for that. Crashing on UE5 has been an absolute nightmare. Okay, so as you can see, we got no major compile errors or issues. Obviously, you've got these ARM issues, but we'll fix that momentarily. So the right characters settings, yes, fine. We'll worry about everything else later, but that's the core. Bring up the update graph and the anim graph because we'll be working on them soon enough. But for now, obviously, we want to fix this this issue with the arms. So if we open up any one of the animations, any of the ones we have this little icon here, will be the new ALS ones. Generally, most of them will work fine after the retargeting. But some of them do have this little weird arm issue. The main ones you'll see it on will be all these lean poses. As you can see here, got the arms, tucked and hidden, and it's I don't know what causes it. It's happened with a couple of locomotion systems. I don't know whether it's a UE5 issue or maybe just one of their retargeting bugs that still haven't fixed up yet. But generally, to fix it, you just click where it says allow frame skipping. Just click that off, and then click it back on. And, excuse me, the arms stay back then where they're supposed to, and all works fine again. So we just go over some of the animations here. I think it's in the local detail ones. Yes, there. Again, just click each of them, turn it off and on. It's one of them. Yep, there. Most of the actual motion, except then for the overlay pose ones. So we just fix these while we're here. It's a position not even a contortionist would want to get into. Right. Just keep going through these. Basic off and ons. All it really needs just to get them working then say once it, you can do a whole save of them all, and that should be them fixed and working. Some of them do, they do appear quite comical or painful depending on your outlook. Some of these probably did need, we don't probably do need to tweak up if you don't tend to use them, but just to avoid any kind of issues later on in case there is any, we just do it. That's them all sorted now, so we can just close up the animations. Combine all of this. That's small working fine and intended. For some reason, that arm always stays like this in the animation blueprint. I haven't worked out why yet, but it doesn't seem to affect it in world, as I'll show you momentarily now. So just close that one up, and then we'll go to the blueprints, character logic, and the ALS base blueprint. As you can see, we have a few errors and such here. This is one of the older versions of ALS. And I know there's a newer version of ALS that has a whole plugin system with it. It's all been converted into a big plugin system. And apparently the latest one uses all the enhanced inputs and things. It's more optimized and things, but unfortunately because the Tempest combat framework is also a plugin, so then you would have two core blueprints kind of conflict with each other. So those who know maybe like C++ coding and such and things like that, I would probably be able to integrate them easy enough, but C++ is not a thing of mine, so I just stick to some of the older versions here. So we'll start at the basis first. We will change the parent of this. Just type demo, and you'll see then if you've got Tempest, the demo third person character. Just click that, and it'll be parented to that. The demo third person character is a child blueprint of the character blueprint inside the combat plugin. I wouldn't make it a child directly of the plugin in case there is updates and things to come to it. So it's best not to touch anything inside the actual plugin folder itself, and just always connect things to like the child blueprints that are in your own content folders. So now that that's done, you'll notice then there's a whole new camera. This we can just click that, and it will revert then to the basically the whole system now, the default model and animation blueprint of the Tempest. And in the player inputs, you can take away these four because the movement controls are being used inside the Tempest player controller with enhanced inputs. We just type in one here, we'll show jump input. These are the new enhanced inputs and things. Now when this is finished, everything will work. The crouching, the walking, the running, the crouching, the ragdolling, the whole kit and caboodle will work, but the only thing that doesn't right off the bat is the mantling. I'm still working on that. I think the process of that might be because of the way the combat system works with its inputs as well. There's a little bit of code that goes in front of some of the inputs and things. You will obviously, anyone who, when you have the Tempest, you will see just how it varies up. There's a little bit of a coding before that, which might be what's affecting the mantling, and of course the the default group slots and things that aren't fully set up yet. You know that if I get the mantling working, which I will keep trying to if I whenever I get the time, and I'll make an update video on that there if I get it working again. Hopefully I should do, and if I don't get it working, I'm sure someone else will. There's a great deal of people, you know, who know a lot more about ALS than I do. It's not a system I use quite a lot myself. I usually try to, you know, make something up myself, or go something a wee bit more basic. The original version of ALS was a bit unwieldy. But for a lot of this, I'll just use some of the number inputs, since we don't have to worry about enhanced inputs for them yet. So we'll just make up a couple of these, you know, just to show off some of the functions working once we have it all set up here. Alright, so just connect a couple of these up here, and then we'll delete these. Like I said, you can make all of these up yourself with in the enhanced inputs later on. That's not hard to do. There's videos all over the place showing how to set up the enhanced inputs, and there is some, you know, default ones made up already in for the Tempest framework. Just for the sake of speed and convenience, I'm kind of just foregoing some of the more you know, basic and obvious copy and pasting stuff. And offset. Now, the last two, although they do work, we're not going to worry about inputs for them, because the whole camera framework, it's in the ALS controller blueprint. But all you basically have to do is, you know, just copy and paste all of the stuff in the ALS controller blueprint into the Tempest controller blueprint. That'll be all set to work. But it's just switching, you know, third person, first person, all that kind of thing. So we won't worry too much about that. Same old ragdoll, it works, but we just won't. It's not a major issue to get up and running. That's the inputs generally. So if you click compile, you'll see a couple more arrows down here. So we just click on these. See the move forward and backwards here. This one is now going by the enhanced values. We have to use the new enhanced values for this. So just delete the old ones, copy them, click down here, and then we'll paste them here. Connect them in as well, and delete the old ones. And I think that is all the inputs and stuff required finished. As you can see now, we have no more errors. So then if we open it up again, then we go to the anim blueprint. So we're a bit more out of the way. So we come onto this one here, and we change our character now to your own specific model. Give him his new blueprint. Compile. Let's get all this skin ready. And if we go to world settings here, change it up to anim, click play. As you can see, there's do more animation warping of the arms. If you hadn't done that little tick of the off and on of the arms would have been, you know, just tucked in, warping and wiggling all over the place as he moved and run. But as you'll notice now, basic movements are working. A couple of things that aren't working now though off the bat is the IK is not working. His turn in place doesn't kick in until you're like, till you got like the full, you know, 180 degrees. We will also fix that. And he's got this weird little foot tapping. So generally, what can fix most of that right out of the bat is the come up to the animation blueprint, I think it was, and in the update graph. Down here, where it says dynamic transition check, just for now, disconnect that. Compile, maybe start up again. You'll notice that the foot has stopped tapping. If you turn just 45 degrees, he will now do a proper 45 degree turn. So that's all working properly now. You see, click one, you go into your crouch and you're standing. When you're crouching, he still does the little tapping of the right leg. If you not really bothers, you can disconnect the where we just disconnected the left leg. You can also disconnect the right, and I believe that will start. Like I said, some of these things are not full-on fixes because I'm not an ALS expert. Some of them are just kind of like workaround things as I do more testing. As you can see, walk, another run. That's all working. 3D sprint. Change your view, your free move to walk behind. Your aim view as well will also, you know, generally when you're free view, you know, it brings up your whole aiming cursors and the camera, you know, kind of zooms in behind his shoulder. But like I said, we haven't set all up here. That's just all in the controller blueprints. But as you can see, the basic movement of it works, where he's turning now in place as he's aiming. So that's the core features of the retargeting done. To make it a little more in depth, though, we will then close up some of these here. Get them out of the way. We don't need any of them open anymore. So first, we will also work on the foot IK. The generator itself, it might, the fact of it not working out of the box might just be a case of, you know, one of these bone names being like spelled the wrong way. Like somebody, you know, have like foot IKL. Well, that might be just down to the skeleton itself having, you know, foot IK. You know, ours isn't capitals, so it's not capital. So if you go through some of them, you know, make sure the spelling's right and it's all spelled, you know, the proper way. That could get all that working, you know, back to normal as the way it's intended to do. But what I like to do is I use a different IK system anyway from the standard that just comes with the ALS. Things like Dragon IK is probably the one with the most features. You know, it's the most complex, you know, of full-on features. Now it's got a lot of things added to it, and all of the over the years, it's probably one of the better, you know, IK systems out there. But one I use is called 2-foot IK2. It's a lot more. It's a pretty much the most a basic IK system, you know, and as you'll see here, you know, it's a lot easier just to set up pelvis and your foot bones, right bone, left bone. And we just connect that up down here. Right, and if we over here, you'll see there's foot IK now working, and the turn in place all still works. Do your 45-degree returns, your 90-degree turns, and your 180-degree turns all working. Crouching, standing, walking, running, sprinting, all still working. So everything, that's the main core features working. All your little morphings and animation working as you're walking or running, all working fine. So then obviously then if you've got your own character blueprint set up from the Tempest itself, to bring it all integrated in with us even more, we will go to the character blueprint I already had set up. It's down in Tempest itself. Just a lot of this is be testing button flip functions. You need to worry about this. I'll just disconnect a couple of these because the pressing of them will interfere with some of the movement ones for some of the other locomotion system I've been testing out and working on as well. So we just disconnect all of that right off the bat. We will now see if we reprint this. You see, this is at the minute. The parent of this is the Tempest combat system. But if we change that now to the anim man, this is now a child of the anim man blueprint. It's a child of the base blueprint, which is also now a child of the Tempest blueprint. So it's formed a chain now where they're all even your own personal character you've been working on making up will still work. So for example, now if we just see the same model, if we just switch him over to now to his new locomotion blueprint, see, switches into the standard ALS pose. Compile. We'll switch back to my character. We start up. This should all work again back as normal. And there we go. And that's everything all working with the combat system. Standing, walking, the whole kit and caboodle. And the AK is still working as well. There we go. But also, as you see in weapons, for the Tempest system, generally the way they have it set up in the weapons system is when you pick up a weapon or equip a weapon, whichever, it will switch your animation graph or your whole animation blueprint. I was doing tests with the whole layer thing, but as you can see here, I was testing with the layers. We can just move that up here, and if you see, you've got your whole set anim instance here. So generally, what you could technically do is you could duplicate the ALS animation graph, and you'll give them all the movements you want to have depending on what weapon he has equipped, and you can just set it in this blueprint here. Or of course, if you could go the other route of the whole overlay system in ALS4 itself. You know, make a new overlay system of what stances he would take depending on what weapon he has equipped. And you just get references to it in this blueprint. Set it up here to switch up the specific stance for whichever specific weapon he has. I'll give you a little show here as we click start again when I pick up the weapon. It just teleported right into his hand. A reason for that. Just see the animation slot, I'll just leave it on default for now. Obviously, it'll just get all the. It'll probably work on the full bodies and the various other like groups and things you have here. Like, but for now, I'll just leave it on default, and just to keep this all going smoothly without any issues. So once I pick it up here, equip the weapon, as you can see, plays the animations, your attack animations. Didn't play the assassination animation. Your jump animation, nice. Nice, frozen in place. He is not moving. I do. The reason for that is because this isn't a full showing here. It's like I said, when where did this weapon blueprint go? There. So like I said, I've been currently using the anim layers, which is a slightly different variation of the whole new language system. So there's a couple of wee things of that there, but if you set it to the actual anim instance class and just switch back and forth between that, it'll work fine. In fact, if we just connect that up again here. And if I bring this one up, you will see this is one of my older animation blueprints. It's using the Dragon IK system and has no integration whatsoever with the with ALS. It's a completely separate and different blueprint for the specific weapons movement style. And it wasn't the best. As you'll see now, once I pick it up the weapon, as you can see, now he's doing entirely different movements. Draw the weapon. Different movements based on whether you're looking at him or not. And this guy's now ready to fight me. Get away from me. As you see, the assassination animation's working now. Just a matter of getting the right blueprints. And obviously, again, the default animation blueprint that comes with Tempest is extremely basic. Let's see if I can actually find one here. Sewing machine, see if any of them are actually made up. Obviously there's not compilers for the lot of blind splits are missing in the original because they couldn't sell the animation that they were using with it because different packs and all that kind of thing. I'm sure going with that. But in their animation blueprint itself, their entire animation blueprint is made up of this. Generally, all you need to worry about to copy over into your ALS anim blueprint is these two functions. Obviously, you'll need your these three little interfaces. You copy these three interfaces, these two functions, and of these, let's say, targeting and moveset, or these last three are basically probably the only three you'll need to copy. So you got two functions, a couple of interfaces, and three variables. That's about all you need to copy over from the Tempest, animation blueprint into the ALS one without even have to worry about any kind of reparenting of that. That's the whole the actual animation part of it itself. That's what you'd have to move over, and of course then just references to your targeting component, ability component, your stat manager component, just the basic stuff. Just copy and paste them over and make the variables for them. You'll be all set and running. So you see in the end craft here, it's got its whole initialize, and you just copy all the components and stuff now, just click them all, attach them all here, it'll keep it all up and running. But that's split. We'll just ignore that. But off the top of my head, I think that's it all basically complete again. This is maybe like my third or fourth time having to do this now because of audio issues, so hopefully this one actually stays working. But again, as you can see, everything's crouching, walking, running, everything's still working. Your IK system all works. Visual glitch here, it's sometimes caused by the grooming system I'm still working on. He's ready to kick my pony behind again. There you go. That's the whole system. And I think I can't remember if there was something else I was meant to do or not, but I think that's all of it. I said the one thing that isn't working right off the bat is the mantling. Like you see, you know, you're kind of doing the movements and animations and things, but you're kind of like, you know, going up the thing, but it's not playing the actual climbing mantling animations itself, which I think might be like it is. I still have some testing to do because I think that might be down to the actual the way the whole enhanced input things are set up in the whole group slots and things. So I've still more testing to do on that to get it working. No doubt there is a way to get it working. There's a whole Discord community for ALS that should be able to get it to help discover a way to get it working properly. Oh, but it doesn't. But yes, that's. That arm just stays like that. I haven't worked out what's the cause of it or why it's happening. Maybe it's probably some wee small fiddly little issue. I'll probably find out eventually. It's probably happened to on other blueprints, and someone on the ALS Discord knows the reason for it. But as you can see, even though it shows there when you're in the actual game, moving, walking, running, doing everything, it doesn't cause an issue. So whatever that thing is, it's just a wee visual thing there in the image. And I believe that's the whole lot, right? Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I'll say that's the whole lot. For if I think of anything else, I'll put it in the comments section, and I'll also leave a link to an image that'll show you where the source bones and target bones for the virtual bones, so you can set that up yourself as well. And like I said, the previous video I had up on this will be I'll take it down in a couple of days because the audio of that one really is terrible, and hopefully the audio of this one's a lot better. Certainly couldn't be worse. As you can see, when you're using the Tempest combat system, you literally can have entirely different animation blueprints without any kind of reference to ALS for whichever weapons you want. So if you've got different weapon stages, one-handed swords, two-handed swords, guns, whatever your animations are going to be, you can have an entirely different blueprint and even entirely different IK systems. Where I've got two different IK systems built in. So, for example, that one's still using the 2 IK, I just noticed. But if we disconnect that, that. Connect that. Just assume swords equipped. You still have your IK, and that's with Dragon IK. So it's using two completely different IK systems, different animation blueprints. The Tempest system is incredibly modular. I highly recommend getting it. It'll give you lots of variation, and built in with the advanced locomotion system will give you some nice smooth animation movements as well. Because although ALS is an absolute nightmare to program for and add things to, it still is, even after all these years, probably the best locomotion system for the UE4 skeleton, which there's newer locomotion systems that use the UE5 skeleton. There's the Lyra system, the Echo movement system. No, there's a whole new few variations these days now. But unfortunately, there's actually still very few locomotion systems that have been made up using these systems, and even fewer actual tutorials of how to actually set any of them up. So for the time being, ALS is still probably about the best locomotion system to use. So with that all being said, I'll leave you the couple of links in the description, like I said, showing the images for the virtual bones. The previous video will be taken down. I'll also put in a link to the Tempest combat system, and the link to my Twitch channel if you want to see any of the stuff I'm working on with my own project. Maybe you want to subscribe, donate, whatever you want to do. If you're interested, feel free to. All helps towards the project. All of my little enemies I've been doing tests on lately, as you saw the animations for the assassinations and things. But yes, that's all done. And the whole integration system, as you can see, works relatively smoothly. Some of the fixes are more workarounds than actual total fixes. Find out more. I'll do updates in the future. But that'll do for now. Okay, so goodbye all. I'll see you the next one. Enjoy the integration, and hope you enjoy Tempest.